Hi everybody, it seems like I've got audio good, so nice. So I'm here to run through this week's lesson and also to answer any questions if you do have any. So if you're watching, please do leave me a comment and tell me who's here because it's really nice to know who's watching. So let's run through the material. So first of all, this week on the ukulele, we've got another section of hot sauce. Now you'll find this on page 17 of your book. So let's get there. Cool. So as with last time, I'll run through the whole song as well, because if you're struggling with a certain section, if this week's tasks were too hard, there's absolutely no problem with focusing some more on last week's, because it's not going to go anywhere. So we can always focus on something that we're still struggling with and then move on to later subjects later after that. So let's have a look at the first part of this, level 2 of hot sauce. So we got 3 and 2 on the E and the A string. So we've got, that's the rhythm we're going to go for. If you look at bar 1, we've got 2 filled in notes and 1 hollow note. This means that the hollow note is twice as long as the filled in one. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Same pattern for the next one. We're now going to bring the third finger in here to fret 3 on the E string, and the A string. So we've got 3 on the E and the A, and we're going to go same rhythm, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next up, and then. Now that is our first section. Let me play it in full for you. And again. Cool. So moving on to the next bit, section B. So as we said last week, the 2 lines of section B are very similar. So it's just the last bar, the last 2 bars that are actually different between these 2. So if I play through the first one, we've got again, most of these being in groups of 3. So it's always good to think of them in groups of notes to help you remember them and also to help you focus on playing them in the right order. So the first one, we've got a group of 2 and then a group of 3. Aha. This time I will show you the ukulele. So let's go again. Now the last line of this is going to change in the last 2 bars. So first 3 bars are identical and go like this. And then we've got 3 extra notes to add on the end. We've got 2, 3, and 2. So if I play this last 3 bars for you from where it says F above the stave, we've got this. So make sure that you're using the appropriate fingers here. So fret 1 is going to be finger 1. Fret 2 will be finger 2. Fret 3 will be finger 3. So it's really important to make it as easy as possible for you. So if you're really struggling with using different fingers, here's a little exercise for you. We go 1, 2, 3. 3. It's not the most musical exercise ever, but it's really going to stretch those fingers out and get them used to being used all at the same time. It's key to actually keep your fingers down after you've used them here. So, you see I'm keeping my first and second down. And for extra difficulty, we can go backwards. which is much harder than going upwards. And when you finish that, you can do both in one. So we go. So you're not that fast, take your time with it, but the key is to use all 3 fingers in 3 frets. Really take your time making sure that you're keeping them down, pressed down hard, and also keeping your first and second finger down after you've used them, because anything behind the top finger here, whether it's your little or your third or your second, anything that happens behind here, between here and the nut here, doesn't change the sound. So listen to this. You see, it's only the top one that will change the sound. So you can keep your fingers down while you're doing this. Okay, so let's have a look at the next subject, which is You Get the Stars, bars 5 to 8. So we're going back to page 12. And bars 5 to 8 is the second line here. But again, we've got a very similar pattern between the first and the second line. The first 2 bars are in fact identical. And they go like this. That is the first 2 bars in both of these lines. So last week's lesson, the first line of this sounds like this. I'll try again. Notice those last 2 notes are really long. We've got 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. And again, focus on using the correct fingers here. So finger 2 in fret 2, finger 1 in fret 1, finger 3 in fret 3. So let's have a look at the second line. The first 2 bars are identical. We've got this. And then we go onto the C string. And then we've got 2 on the C and an open E. So, and that is the last 2 bars of that section. So if I play bars 5 to 8 for you, we have this. Which sounds really nice. So make sure you're grouping it correctly as well. So let me play it again for you, slower this time. Always make sure you're running through this slowly before you try to do it fast, because if you can get it right slowly, then it's going to be exactly the same motion, speed up, and your fingers will move in exactly the same way, just faster. So that's a really nice one to have a look at. And if you get really good at this second line that we've done this week, why not try and put them all together, and it would sound like this. Does anyone have any questions about either hot sauce or You Get the Stars so far? If you do, please leave a comment. And even if you don't have a question, please tell me who is watching, because it's really nice to know. So, any questions? Okay, so if there's no questions, if you do get one, if one comes to you, just leave it in a comment. But otherwise, I'm going to move on to the other topic, which is what's a ukulele, Kenneth? On page 18 of your books. So this week was bar 7 to 8. But as ever, I'm going to go through the rest of it as well. So if we look at the first line, section A, we're going to be looking at it like this. We're going to go. So that's a group of 2 and then a group of 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now it's going to be the same grouping with the right hand next, but we're going to change it a little bit. We're going to go second finger on the G string. And that last chord there is second fret on the G string and first fret on the E. Just make sure you can see. Yeah. So this first line. Okay, so let's have a look at section B. So if you look in the book, you can see that we've got groupings of 3 notes here. So in each bar, we have 3 notes, and there's a pause at the start. That funny squiggly thing means a pause. So it's called a rest, and you can use that time to rest. So what we're going to do is go through it nice and slowly. Groups of 3 notes. We start on the C string. And so note again, I'm using finger 2 in fret 2, finger 3 in fret 3, finger 1 in fret 1. So let me go through the first line of the B section again. We're looking at the middle line, so bar 5 to 8. Here we go. And one more time for you. Now you may notice for the rest, I'll give it a little tap on the ukulele. Now this could help you keep yourself in time. Some people find this really useful to get a physical sort of representation of how long you need to wait there for that gap. So it's always worth a try. You might find it to be the most useful thing you can ever imagine. So it's always worth a go. Or you could just think rest. So in your head, you could think rest. 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 So whatever is useful for you in a way that will help you remember the notes and the groupings of this. So you've got the rest and then the group of 3. So has anyone got any questions about the material or about the ukulele in general, maybe having some problems tuning it, or something catastrophic has happened, a string has snapped and maybe you need to restring it? Any questions at all? Now is your time to ask. And also, please let me know how you're getting on with this material. So the group is smaller now, so I can focus more on each student's sort of requirements for advancing their playing. So please do feedback to me about how your children are getting on with this, because it will really help us sort of target the lessons a little bit more. So please let me know who's tuned in and watched, and also how you're getting on with the material, and if you've got any questions. Okay, if a question does come to you, feel free to email it to the email address on the side, and they will put my name in it, and they will be able to forward that on to me. Otherwise, good luck with this week's material. Really focus on it. Remember to practice slowly to get the motions right, and then try to speed it up. And good luck with this, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks, everybody.